Gentleman from Northern Mariana Islands, Mr. Sablan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for holding today's hearing, and I welcome to all the panelists. Thank you for joining us. Let me start, Mr. Lawson, with you, Mr. Lawson. I got that right? Thank you. So on December 21st, 2018, Secretary DeVos rescinded the school discipline guidance created by the Obama administration to ensure that students of color aren't disciplined more harshly than their peers. Now, according to the Data Quality Campaign, only 26 states are collecting data on school discipline in their ESSA state plans. Can you explain the effects of rescinding the guidance and the importance of school districts having support from the federal government to reform discipline policies to reduce disparities while keeping schools safe? Something that Mr. Pierre would understand.
Yes, I think there are a number of, first of all, when Secretary DeVos and the Trump administration withdrew the guidance, it sent a signal to all the districts across the nation that they no longer had to concern themselves when they were suspending kids right and left. And even if it had a profound disparate impact on one group or another. And I've pointed out that this is good common sense policy because of the impact on graduation rates, because of the impact on lost instruction in general. Moreover, her justification, I want to point out, cited a study that has been discredited and was discredited at the time. So there was a study that claimed that black students were not discriminated against when you compared black and white students who were similarly situated. In fact, another very conservative researcher with the same data set totally debunked that study and found that, in fact, black students compared to similarly situated white students were 60% more likely to be suspended. So it just boggles the mind that they would rely on such discredited research when there's study after study after study that shows that black students are treated differently, so they're punished more harshly.
Okay, thank you. And on 2 occasions that we had the secretary here, it was just impossible. It was worse than pulling molar teeth in getting an answer from her. Chancellor Carranza, the student population of New York City public schools is majority minority, like my district in the Northern Marianas. So could you speak to why diversifying the teaching profession is critical to the success of students of color, and what more should we at the federal level do to better recruit and retain highly qualified minority teachers?
So it's important that students see their education and their educational environment reflect who they are, not only in the curriculum and what they study and how they study and what they celebrate, but also in the people that are in front of them. And for many students, particularly students of color, and I am a student of color myself, I'm an English language learner, it was important for me to see role models that were my teachers, that were my principals, that were a superintendent. So that becomes very, very important on that perspective, but it's also important in that students that have teachers of color, especially teachers that come from their background, yes, there's a cultural competence that comes with that. When you walk into a classroom and you're an English language learner, a Latino student, and the teacher says, bienvenido, hey, have a seat, or I'm gonna call your grandma, or tu nana, le voy a hablar a tu nana. There's a certain cultural competence that connects that student with their culture.
I got a lot of that in school. Thank you. Dr. Linda Darling Hammond, I know you were pointing at the chairman, probably trying to add on to Mr. Lawson's. But in your testimony and report, the federal role and school integration, Brown's Promise and Present Challenges, you discussed the importance of the federal role in promoting school diversity and access to opportunity. Again, in July 2018, Secretary DeVos rescinded the voluntary diversity guidance to help school districts improve diversity in K-12. What effect has the rescission had on school districts seeking to improve diversity, and what message does this send from the federal government? You have 25 seconds.
Well, it sends the message that the federal government is not forward-looking about helping districts, create more diversity, and it also raises confusion in the wake of the Parents Involved case about what are the legitimate ways to support diversity in the ways that Chancellor Carranza is doing in New York City. There are guidance about specific strategies that districts have taken up that have been successful that is now not easily accessible to districts across the country.
Yeah, I see my time is up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.